Hi everyone, this is Scott Casey with the Starfinder HUD, which has just been released on Roll20, and this is the first video in the Starfinder HUD tutorial series. So I thought people might want to see how to use the sheet in case you don't want to look through the entire user's manual or post questions on the forums. So we're going to start off with the Solarian that I'll be playing when the GM chair switches in a month or two. I've already made him, but I'm going to walk you guys through how he works. So this character I've opened up to the core sheet. The first sheet you'll actually see when you open a new character is the settings sheet. This allows you to choose whether your roles are public or private, only going to the GM. Uh, GMs will probably make use of setting whether the character is a PC, an NPC, or a ship, or if it's a mechanics drone. There's also some house rule options. My game uses a house rule that the resolve is based on your highest ability score instead of your key ability score. You can also choose what buffs stack and what weapons receive half your specialization bonus. So let's take a look at the core sheet. Character info is pretty self-explanatory. You've got your race, your HP from your race, theme, all that good stuff. This class and level field is handled by the sheet based on what you enter into your class details. So class details, you can put in up to 5 classes for the sheet. So I have a Solarian. When the GM switch happens, this will be about level 5. I've got my stamina and HP that I get per level. And then I am a full BAB class. If you aren't used to Starfinder or Pathfinder terminology, a full BAB class is a class whose base attack bonus is equal to their class level. In Starfinder, these are your Solarians and Soldiers. Other options that the sheet supports are 3/4, which is pretty much every other class in Starfinder, and then half BAB, which are if you're trying to transfer in a wizard or sorcerer from Pathfinder. The sheet also automatically handles your fortitude, reflex, and will save progression based on whether they are good save or a poor save. A good save, if you look at the class chart, will start at a 2 instead of a 0. And how many skill ranks do you get per level from that class, and what that class's key ability score is. Your abilities for that class will be keyed off of this ability score, and if you're using rules as written resolve, your amount of resolve will be keyed off of there as well. You can also checkmark whether or not this class casts spells. And then over on the right, we have our menus, which initiative, attacks, saves, abilities, ability checks, skills. These menus will output to chat so that you can easily access all of your attacks, all of your abilities, what have you. These menus can also be dragged down to your macro quick bar if you enable that in collections right here. So I'm going to drag down my abilities menu to my macro quick bar, and you can see it's now here, and if I output it, it organizes my abilities based on how I have them entered in the abilities section, which we'll get to in a bit. Great, so your ability scores, total is your total ability score from your level up bonuses, your point buy, your theme, your racial bonuses, all that good stuff. I also have a buff to my dexterity here. If I click that, you can see what my base score actually is. And then health, your maximum health and RP is handled by the sheet based on what choices you've made previously. Armor class, same way. Saving throws. We also have initiative up here, and you can track your XP. The largest section on the sheet, at least when you first open it, will be your skills section. You can expand any of these sections or any of these skills to customize them for notes, armor check penalty, what have you. And then down here in between piloting and sense motive is where your professions are added. I have a profession of spec ops, and you can enter the name of your profession when you expand it, choose whether it's affected by armor check penalties, add any notes here. So this can also be used for custom skills that you're using in your homebrew campaign. Attacks is all of your weapon attacks, unarmed strikes, what have you. Anything that is not an ability or spell that you use offensively. Equipment, the first section of equipment is your encumbrance, has how much you're carrying, what your encumbrance level is, your overburden level, uh, your credits that you have, how much wealth, so if essentially how much all of your items are worth, and your UPBs if you have any. And then we have the repeating section for items, and below that is a drop down that has all of the open gaming license equipment from the core rulebook. You can select an item here, it'll be automatically added to your inventory. And since I'm using a flame pistol, I'm actually going to search for some petrol. Yeah, petrol tank standard. So you can see it gets added in automatically added to my carried, and I can actually go in here and I'm going to take 2 of these so I have some backup for my flame pistol. If you add something like armor, it will also automatically add the correct mods for that piece of armor. So this Yosoki refractor suit has +7 armor to EAC, +7 armor to KAC, and gives me 5 max dex to armor. Your armor check penalty will also be included in here if that armor applies an armor check penalty. And if it's an attack like the flame pistol or the survival knife, it will automatically add the attack with the appropriate attack modifiers and appropriate damage. You will have to go into these though and select whether you're specialized or not. Um, so, and if it's an operative weapon, you may have to select whether it's dex or strength. So in the attack section here, if I roll this survival knife, it's going to ask me, just like this, whether or not I want to full attack. If I do select that I want to full attack, it will roll the attack for me and include the -4 penalty for the full attack. This penalty is based on some settings in the attack. If I roll this flame pistol, which is an unwieldy weapon, I have it set up that it never rolls the full attack because it's an unwieldy weapon. And you can adjust these settings in the attack under this additional attacks section. Never, always, or query whether to roll it, how many attacks are in the full attack. The sheet can handle up to 5, and what your attack penalty is. These 2 fields, number of attacks and attack penalty, can take anything that can be put into an inline roll. So you can put calculations here if you have something that scales with level, all sorts of good stuff, and have a nice, easy way to dynamically handle what you're doing in combat without needing a whole bunch of abilities. Next we have abilities. I set up this character previously so that you don't have to watch me enter all of these abilities. So I have Graviton Attunement, which gives me a reflex bonus that scales with level. I can enable it, and my reflex bonus is applied. We're going to go down and the mods fields in these abilities work just like they do in items or in the buffs section up above. We're going to go down and look at Black Hole though, because it has a save associated with it. So I've put my source in as Solarian. As long as you spell this source the same as your class, it will automatically set up the ability basis for the DC based on that class's key ability score, as well as calculate the DC based on your level in that class. For abilities, that's half your class level. So I've set up a range, any creature, given it a duration and a usage, and a save full effect and a save effect. And now if I roll black hole, we can look over here and see that it gives us all the information that we need for that to properly resolve it in combat. Um, so that's the core sheet of the PC sheet. I hope it's been helpful for people, and I will be releasing a short tutorial on using the spell sheet as well as the NPC sheet and the starship sheet in the next little bit. Feel free to leave comments here or come by the Starfinder HUD Roll20 community forum thread and check out the user's manual. I'll link those in the YouTube description, and I look forward to seeing what you all think. Have a great day, and see you all out in the drift.